Imagine pulling up to your dream home, keys in hand, only to have a self-appointed neighborhood queen call the cops on your moving truck before you've even carried in a single box. That's how my nightmare began in the supposedly idyllic suburb of Willow Creek, Georgia, where community standards were code for one woman's iron-fisted reign of terror. But oh, how the tables turned when Alex Harlan, the guy they'd already labeled a troublemaker, based on whispers and lies, decided silence wasn't an option anymore. I rolled into Willow Creek on a sweltering afternoon, the U-Haul groaning under the weight of my life packed in cardboard. I'd snagged this mid-century ranch for a steal, thinking it was my ticket to peace after a messy divorce that left me dodging rumors back in Atlanta. Folks said I was unstable, a loner who couldn't play by rules, all because my ex spun tales to our mutual friends. I ignored it, focused on starting fresh. But as I backed into the driveway, a woman materialized like she'd been summoned from a bad sitcom. Bleached hair tied in a perfect ponytail, yoga pants screaming, "I run this block," and a visor that sparkled like it was compensating for something. She planted herself square in front of my truck, clipboard at the ready. "Excuse me, sir," she said, her voice dripping with that fake sweet southern drawl that hides a knife. "I'm Patricia Kensington, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. And you are?" "Alex Harlan," I replied, wiping sweat from my brow. "Just moving in." "Nice to meet you." Her eyes narrowed like I'd confessed to a felony. "Moving in? Without notifying the board? Our bylaws require 14 days advance notice for any move-in activity. It's to maintain order, you understand. For the good of the community." I stared, half expecting a punchline. "You're kidding, right? I just bought the place. The ink's barely dry on the deed." She flipped open her clipboard, revealing a laminated sheet of rules that looked like it had been printed in Comic Sans for extra irony. "Dead serious, Mr. Harlan. And that truck? Oversized vehicles aren't permitted overnight. It disrupts the aesthetic harmony." "It's a rental," I shot back, chuckling despite myself. "How else am I supposed to get my stuff inside? Teleportation?" Her lips pursed into a thin line, like I'd insulted her ancestors. "I've already contacted the authorities. Violations like this can't be tolerated. We're a deed-restricted community, after all." "You called the cops? On a guy unloading boxes into his own house?" She shrugged, as casual as if she'd ordered coffee. "They'll be here shortly. Rules are rules, Mr. Harlan. You signed the HOA covenants when you purchased." That's where she was wrong. I'd done my homework, triple-checked with the county and title company. My parcel was a quirky split from the original development, grandfathered out of the HOA's grasp. Their domain ended at the curb. Mine started right there. But I kept my mouth shut for now, leaning against the truck and watching her fidget. Rumors about me had probably already reached her. Patricia was the type who thrived on gossip, turning whispers into weapons. Sure enough, a patrol car rolled up minutes later, lights off but presence heavy. 2 officers emerged, one sighing like this wasn't his first HOA rodeo. "What's the issue here, folks?" Patricia jumped in before I could blink. "This man is moving in illegally. No board approval, oversized vehicle, and he hasn't even submitted color swatches for potential exterior changes. It's a blatant disregard for our standards." The older officer raised an eyebrow, glancing at me. "Sir, just trying to get settled," I said calmly, pulling the deed from the glove box. "Parcels exempt. Not part of the HOA." He scanned it, nodded. "Looks legit. Ma'am, this is a civil matter. We're not HOA enforcers." "But he's undermining property values." Patricia's voice hitched, her face flushing like a tomato in July. "This community thrives on unity. Unity doesn't involve 911 for a moving truck," the younger officer muttered, handing back my deed. "Take it up with your board, not us." She stormed off to her golf cart. Yes, she had one, decked out with HOA stickers, muttering about lawsuits and devalued homes. The cops tipped their hats and left, leaving me shaking my head. All I wanted was to hang my flat screen and grill a burger. Instead, I'd landed in a suburban dictatorship. And Patricia? She just fired the opening shot in a war she didn't know she'd lose. 2 days in, and the house was a construction zone. I was knee-deep in sawdust, ripping out god-awful floral wallpaper that screamed 1980s regret, when the first real jab came. An envelope slipped under my door. No stamp, just my name scrawled in Sharpie. Inside, a typed note in all caps. Unauthorized alterations noted. Cease immediately or face community enforcement. For the greater good. I crumpled it, but curiosity pulled me outside. There, on my rented dumpster, parked firmly on my non-HOA side, was a neon violation sticker. Illegal debris container. Remove or incur fines. No city seal, just Willow Creek Standards Committee, in that same ridiculous font. I peeled it off, smirking at the absurdity. Who slaps stickers on trash bins like they're saving the world? I'd heard the whispers already. Neighbors peeking from windows, probably spreading tales that I was that divorced guy causing trouble. I stayed quiet, observing. That night, I mounted security cameras. One on the porch, one over the garage, 2 more scanning the yard and street. Low-key, but effective. Morning came and bingo. Footage showed Patricia and a burly guy in khakis sneaking up at dawn, slapping another sticker and snapping pics like amateur spies. I saved the clips, drove to the county office. The clerk, a no-nonsense woman with a coffee stain on her blouse, confirmed it in seconds. Your lot's exempt, hun. Pre-HOA split. Here's a letter to prove it. I photocopied a dozen, dropping one in Patricia's mailbox with a note. For your records. Cheers. Retaliation hit like clockwork. A sedan blocked my driveway overnight, plate traced to a neighbor I'd never met. Knocking on their door, a kid answered. Mom says you need to apologize to Miss Kensington. You're disrupting harmony. Next day, the car vanished, replaced by a lawn sign, non-compliant property under review. I yanked it, but it reappeared zip-tied to my oak tree, hammered in at 2 a.m. by the same khaki-clad goon. Police report filed. Officer Ramirez showed up, watched the tape. Trespassing, maybe harassment. Press charges. Not yet, I said. Building a case. He nodded. These HOA types think they're above it all. Call if it amps up. It did. My lumber delivery got blocked by golf carts, performing emergency maintenance. Drivers claimed board orders. I rescheduled, paid extra, filed another report. Then I dug deeper. Online HOA financials showed dues creeping up, subtle, but steady. The landscaping contract? Overpriced. Awarded to Green Haven Pros. Owned by Patricia's nephew. Invoices screamed conflict. Door to door I went low-key. Most nodded politely. Some spilled. An old couple, the Fletchers, served iced tea while recounting a $150 fine for non-standard bird feeder. She said it clashed with the vibe. Mrs. Fletcher sniffled. Made me feel like a criminal. Ready to fight back? I asked. Mr. Fletcher grinned. Hell yes. Knock her off that throne. Signatures piled up. I called my old buddy, Lena, an HOA-busting lawyer. She arrived with coffee and fire. This is fraud goldmine fake stickers? Impersonating officials? We're talking criminal. We plotted injunction first, then exposed the embezzlement. That night, a shadowy SUV idled outside. Morning, a gutted pumpkin smeared on my door, juvenile, but creepy. I skipped local cops, went straight to the DA with footage. The investigation cracked open like a piñata. Patricia's next move? A glossy cease and desist delivered by a nameless suit. Defamation. Undermining cohesion. Lena laughed it off. They're panicking. Good. We watched tapes of cars circling my house, neighbors snapping pics like paparazzi. They're baiting you, Lena said. Don't bite. Digging filings revealed missing expenses. $15K to Summit Services. A shell owned by HOA VP Elaine Whitaker. We confronted her at her McMansion. Can I help? She cooed, arms folded. You're funneling funds undisclosed. Lena fired. Fraud. Her smile faltered. Misunderstanding. Lawyer up if you must. Back home, more neighbors. IT was Kyle, fined for unapproved Wi-Fi name, and Nurse Rita, dinged for loud recycling. Their affidavits thickened the file. I added an attic cam. Breakthrough, ex-treasurer Sarah called, spooked by our flyers. Her drive held spreadsheets. Fines laundered through bogus vendors, all tied to Patricia's circle. DA called grand jury. Subpoenas flew. Patricia vanished for days. Her golf cart tarped like a relic. Spotted arguing with a suit, her lawyer finger-jabbing. Website down. Knock, Ramirez and Detective Vaughn. Charges incoming, fraud, evasion, racketeering. Testify? Gladly, I said. Unmarked cars at her door. Silence shifted, relief brewing. By week's end, Willow Creek stirred. Folks chatted openly, fear fading. Lena and I turned my dining room into command central. Affidavits from cash donors for phantom permits. Laundering, Lena growled. Slow knock. Old-timer Gus. Ex-committee. Handed faded docs. A petition against Patricia's fund access. Ignored. She turned it into her kingdom, he rasped. Stop her. Grand jury indicted. Audit unearthed mics in clubhouse. Even daycare illegal surveillance for protocols. Warrants at dawn. Cruisers at Patricia's. She emerged in rollers, screeching, I'm the protector. Cuffed. Door slammed. Crowd murmured, filming. Fletchers held hands. Others nodded. Interim board met. Audit vowed, security dissolved. Restitution, new chair Nora declared. Open forum. Venting. Tears. No cops. I spoke. Came to fix a house, fixed a tyranny. Not alone. Applause. Night fell quiet, sprinklers only. Lena on porch. You toppled an empire. Just wanted peace. I quipped. Not to be Aaron Brockovich 2.0. We laughed. Street alive sans fear. But tell me, was Patricia the real villain? Or just the face of a system that lets petty tyrants rule? Who's truly at fault when community becomes control?